Alrighty, welcome to week 2, and this is us. Let me see, one second. There we go. Okay, so this is week 2 of our accountability for rubies and above, and I'm super pumped about this. So we're going to go ahead and open it up. If you are not doing morning rounds, I'm going to ask you guys to do an experiment with me. If nothing else, this will just be an experiment. And let's just try it for the rest of April. That is my encouragement. So obviously, if you're not a level 1, do it with your sponsor if it works. So you girls obviously are under Brandy, but the girls that are doing it with me are having really good awarenesses. So I'm super pumped. And Brittany did it last month with a senior silver and a sapphire. So like 2 different ends of the spectrum, and had really, really great things from it. So I think it's one of those things too that it doesn't know any one rank, but we can all benefit from it. And also even these, the baby silvers, baby senior silvers, obviously just shorten it so it wouldn't have like some of those other big things underneath, but like just the basic needle movers, I think could be really, really helpful for these people that want to grow a business, or at least verbalize that they do, but it really puts the ball in their court. I think it could be really effective. Brandy, I'm thinking we probably need to see if Natalie will do it. Even if it's in our group chat. That's the other thing too. If all of us have a group chat, we could, like, you could literally do your morning rounds in the group chat, because then you would have 2 of us chiming in with some thoughts or things, as your it gives us sometimes a springboard to do a little coaching or encouragement, or give ideas, or if you have a question and one of us is able to field it faster than the other, that's a great thing too. So anyways, just was going to pop that out there again about the morning rounds. Also, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse on this, but here's the thing. I think at some point we recognize that Plexus is either going to be a hobby for us, which means we're basically going to do it when it's convenient and when we have brain space to do it, or it's going to actually be a business. And deciding that it's going to be a business doesn't mean that it all of a sudden has to be this like serious thing that we don't like. But I think it's one of those things. I just remember hearing early on, if you treat this like a business, it will pay you like a business. And to me, having a business versus a hobby just means I'm more organized, I'm more systematic, and I have specific clear-cut goals for what I'm working on. So that's my working definition of, at what point this becomes a business. But I was just talking to someone a minute ago, and she kind of said multiple times, like, I'm just kind of willy-nilly. And, she mentioned that several times, and I was like, you know what? I think you might be hitting on something, because this is kind of her do or die year. If she doesn't start making more money, and she needs to be making about $2,000 a month, before her husband says, you need to go find something else. Basically, where she's going to start trading time for money. And so I just said, well, if you're verbalizing to me in several different ways, in several, in that voice clip, that you kind of approach this a little willy-nilly. And so I said, what if you get organized and you make an appointment with yourself? I said, if you're going to go work a shift at the hospital, or you're going to start teaching piano lessons, or you're going to go work at the bank, like those hours that you are scheduled to work, or that you schedule students to come, like those are protected, like kind of a come hell or high water. I mean, except for extenuating circumstances, like you do that. And so I sometimes think that we just sometimes the relaxedness of this opportunity, because it is an opportunity. It's as big or as small as you want it to be. But if we're saying we want X, Y, Z, yet our actions aren't backing that up, I just think it's one of those good awarenesses. And I was going to mention to her what Jessica said early on, like, if you treat it like a business, it'll pay you like a business. And so I was asking her some questions that hopefully help her have some self-awareness of like, oh yeah, maybe I am just treating this more like a hobby. And I think a hobbyist versus a business owner, the difference is you're strategic about when you're working. And I told her, I'm like, the beauty of this business is that you can literally nook and cranny a lot of it, which is fantastic for all of us that are, busy doing lots of different things. This is not just our only jam. But I said, here's the thing. I said, I felt really convicted in those last, I don't know, it was one of the last 4 chapters of the Get Over Yourself book, when she said, if you don't have a chunk, like a protected plexus chunk somewhere in your week, an hour, two, whatever it is, for prospecting, specifically for prospecting, because I think so much of what we do can be on the fly, responsorial. We can pop on live on our stories, show what we're doing with the kids, talk plexus, talk about the business. We can pop up a post here and there. We can respond to people. But I think that the strategic, intentional piece that has to be carved out somewhere in our week, where we're sitting down and like you're in front of your computer combing through things, or you have your notepad or my favorite little tool, which is the white sheet paper, and you're going through your lists and your people and you're following up. There needs to be a chunk of time where that's scheduled somewhere in the week, at least one time, depending on what your goals are. So anyways, that's just kind of a random, but very essential side note that I think is really important for all of us to be mindful of, not just, the people that we're coaching that are the goals and beyond, but even for us, all of us. And it's important to get a few pockets scheduled in. So another little plug for my Friday morning power hour, but making myself commit to that. When my kids were littler and, 10 years ago when I started this, I was very intentional about, protected time where I wasn't like trying to mom and also do plexus, which there was plenty of that in my day where I was, responding to people or whatever, but I had some carved out time where I was kid free. And that was pretty much when my kids were sleeping. Now that my kids don't really sleep, not that they don't sleep, but my teenagers are up late, we're coming and going. I feel like my evenings are not sacred anymore. And then it's just like, it's game on once we're awake. And it's just different than it was 10 years ago when my kids were like 11 and under. Hard in a different way because, babies and toddlers. But I think it's important to just recognize the season that we're in. And so anyways, I'm back to my early morning working time. And I'm doing that Friday mornings, 5:30 to 8:30, and you can plug your people in. You can come and go. Like if you only can do an hour, fantastic. But I was trying to be cognizant of all the Eastern time zone people too, because 6:30 I think is better than 7:30, because 7:30 usually 8:30, especially if everything's rolling for the day. So anyways, there's that, and I would love for all of us to pop on if we can, even if it's for 30 minutes and work strategically on something specific. And so I am not actually teaching during that power hour, which those of you who were on know that, but we're working together. So everyone's bringing their list of what needs to happen. So, okay, well, I promised that this was going to turn into like an actual accountability call, not me talking the whole time. So I would love for you guys to unmute and just share how many reach outs, how many new reach outs you did this week, how many 3 ways that could be new or just ones that you've revived, like people that have thrown you in a 3-way that's just kind of gone dead, which I feel like is not abnormal for that to happen, but it's just like our job to just keep the conversations going. So who wants to unmute and say? And this is a new thing because I know for those of us who are in tons of conversations every single week, every single day, this may feel tedious to actually track it, but I think there's merit and value in the tracking because it actually gets us focused on the needle movers. All right, someone unmute. Let me go redirect to Abigail.
I can unmute. So should I wait for her to come back? What do you think? Should I go ahead? Should I go ahead? Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear me? Okay, good, good. I wasn't sure. I had at least 10 new reach outs. I don't think I got the 15, but I had probably 10 to 15 like went back around the loop and it paid off for me. So that's really good. And there's probably some more to come from that. I think I ended up with 2 new people that way this week. So that's good so far. I am in a ton of conversations, 3-way conversations, because I'm trying to get the rest of my people to do this. I have one person that is getting close to gold. She it's become accountability with us. So she's flipped me in conversations with VIPs. they're all really good about flipping me into conversations when they are stumped on getting someone started, really. And I feel good about this. But these conversations that are happening with VIPs, like it started with a couple plugging in because they're having issues with product. And now it's becoming way more than that. And so she just keeps doing it. So it's accountability almost for her because it's like we're in those three-way messages. So I can pop in or she can pop in and we're checking. And I'm loving that she's coming around checking faster than I am, which is really good. And we've overcome some really, really difficult product issues, which leads them to being a happy customer, which is leading them to probably with this little promotion, getting a +1. I'm going to guess that's what's going to come from that with her, which leads her to gold, which is awesome. So I feel really good about that. And I'm plugging into other VIPs saying, you know, put me some three-way messages because we're seeing some huge customer wins with these three-way messages. And so I think some of them are coming around to see, um, because even that person has plugged in and said, hey, you should really do this. Because they're learning how to ask questions. That has been my big theme, is like asking all the questions. Because when you ask the right questions, you get the answers. Whether you like them or not, you get the answers and you're not in limbo then. So we're having a lot of wins like that. We're having some huge product wins, so I'm super excited about that.
Yay, that's awesome.
Hmm.
Well, and I think that duplicates down on your team too, like
Hmm.
the just the system of the three ways and then teaching down through the
Hmm.
levels too. Were you
Yeah,
gonna say
for
something,
sure.
Brandy?
I was just going to mention that she had, was that yesterday, Lisa? She had somebody that um, was really struggling with the product and like let it set in a box for a long time. And I forget what you
Yes,
did. You like liked one of her stories or something. And then all of
I
a
did.
sudden, like you're a huge
Yes.
success story.
Yes, she reached out. She was one of my very first, am I on? Hope I'm on. Um, my first VIPs back in August. So like I was brand new and I was literally sitting at the state fair, working at the Tennessee State Fair. And like there was this group message helping me figure out what to do with her because she had a lot of health issues and she was not afraid. April probably remembers this. Like it was in our sideline sister and it was like really difficult. And she didn't even really start. Her health just declined. So yesterday, hadn't seen anything out of her. Plug into her once in a while, just check in. But it has been months since I literally probably said anything to her because I just felt like she was done. Like no response ever, nothing on Facebook. She's been obsolete. And so I saw her story. She looked great. And I just said, you look great, or something like in it, or hearted it. I don't even remember what I did. And she came back and said, hey, I'm ready to start. This is what's been happening to me. And it's been a difficult road. So I messaged back and I said, I think we need to go slow. And I sent her all of the, she sent us late message super late last night. And I said, tomorrow morning, I'll send you all the dosage charts again. Please do that. She said, please do that. And I sent her the link to the detox group because I felt like that might help her. So we'll see what we get. I know she works during the day. So hopefully I hear from her tonight, but I hope that was huge, huge.
Yeah, that's awesome. Lisa, I was going to tell you too while we're waiting on Meg to get back. So we had talked yesterday about like asking all the questions and like all the stuff. I'm actually listening to a homeschool podcast right now about the 4-hour school day. And like one of the biggest things that they're talking about, like with us and our children and teaching them is like how to ask all of the right questions. And I was like, Lisa's been telling me this. It's not just with your business, it's with like everything in life. Like you can't fix what's not broken, or you can't fix what's broken if you don't know what's broke, like if you don't know what the issue is. So anyway, I just thought it was interesting. I'll have to like find the verbiage of how she worded it because it was like exactly what you said yesterday about your people.
Yeah, I think it's like maybe it comes from a quiet teenager that I have, a very quiet teenager.
Yeah.
Some will tell you everything and more, and one doesn't. And man, she is teaching me how to ask questions. Thank you,
I love it
Chesney.
though.
Yeah,
I
she's
love
not in here
that.
right now. I can say that.
Yeah. Okay, I'll call myself out. So we've been gone all week. You know, me and my husband are notorious for going to places with no service for weeks at a time. We've been in Shawnee, and so I've only had 8 new conversations. I am on a phone call. Um, I'm getting yelled at. um, between like I'm counting my week from Wednesday to Wednesday because I don't feel like it's fair for me to do Sunday to now because I've been gone. But about 8 new reach outs. But my 3 ways, I've got so many. And they're all good, bad, ugly. Like I've got a huge mix of 3 ways. But Megan, I was going to tell you, I know this is recorded, so I guess maybe not everyone cares about this. But you mentioned Natalie. She had somebody harass her and like follow, like, I'm talking like try to get information on her, like all this stuff. So I'm in some 3 ways with her, but I guess it was this man that saw one of her Plexus posts and like called the Chamber of Commerce, like asking who she is, trying to get her address, like the weirdest stuff. Anyway, but I say all that. That was one of our 3 ways. What was the other question?
Oh, how many reach outs and how many 3 ways?
I don't know how many 3 ways I'm in. It's a lot. But they're not all just mine. They're with, I think I'm in a 3-way with Karen Combs. It's just a lot. I'm kind of across the board right now, but I don't know how many new conversations I'm in right now with 3 ways. Probably just 2 or 3. The rest of them are like follow-ups and things like that. I'm in a 3-way with a girl in April, and I would like April, since I've got her here on this call. I kind of wanted to know what she felt about how I directed Amanda. She just lost her job. She needs the products like super bad. And I'm just trying to like spark some interest in the business with her and just be like, hey, like, have you ever considered direct sales? I'm done calling this network marketing and MLM and whatever. I've been calling this direct sales with everybody. And I feel like it gives it a different spin because direct sales sounds way more user friendly than network marketing. I think network marketing, like, it scares people. Anyway, I would love to hear April weigh in kind of on how she felt. I don't know if you got to hear that whole conversation. That was just last night, I think.
I haven't fully read all of the messages. I was kind of like as they popped up on my watch, but I haven't actually like studied it or listened to your latest voice clip in there. Um, but she didn't lose her job. She just is laid off right now because it's Easter break. But her work story is she works with Brian at Hershey, so she works the strenuous physical job, and her husband does not work. So all the vibes I'm getting there are not great. So she is the only one supporting her household, and then she's obviously very physically struggling with her body and what her physical ability is. I've mentioned to her several times about sharing. She's one that will share on Facebook randomly, but I've tried to encourage her to, but she's one that's stuck in her head of, I work with Tammy and Tammy knows everybody and I can't do this because Tammy's doing it, kind of thing. So I even mentioned family before, and she's like, yeah, I have no family. I don't talk to my family. Her son is signed up under her. I do not really know that situation fully, other than she signed him, and I don't even think he's still taking the products. Last month, I finally told her, because she did order so much last month, and I knew that she had told me she was going to kind of order ahead, like stock up. I don't love when they do that, but whatever. And so she finally ordered under her son too, to help get like that own kickback. But, um, as yeah, I don't know. I even said something to Brian, because Brian knows her, and I was like, I really wish I could help her. And he was just like, I don't know that I don't know. So I have tried to encourage, like, just because I thought of, was it Dolores you said had to build her own like network? I kind of thought about connecting her with somebody like that, but and just trying to like get her to add friends, because her thing is just her network. I mean, she doesn't post on Facebook. She has done a few like copy paste posts, but But yeah, she needs it. I mean, she really needs the products and she needs the money.
Mm-hmm. Well, what if you just say, hey, why don't we help a couple people get started? That way you at least, is she in her fast start window or no?
Oh, I doubt it.
No, sure. Maybe she'd be in refresh. Maybe she'd be in the refresh
Probably.
maybe. So you could just be like, hey, why don't we help a couple people and get this extra bonus? We could just kind of work toward that. I will help you. Sometimes people have a lot of their own personal insecurities and fear. And also sometimes they don't know what to do or say. So maybe if you just, I don't like to use the word pitch, but if you just pitch it to her like, hey, I will help you get a couple people under you. Like that way you'll at least get that little kickback bonus and, you know, I don't know how big her network is, but I'm sure that she has like what, 100 Facebook friends type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I feel like every single person has influence if they're willing to take some steps, take some action. Maybe she needs help making a post, like where you send, like you know what her wins have been, so you kind of write the post for her, and then you have her post it with a picture and tag you. Even if it's kind of framed as shout out to April for introducing me to these all natural supplements. They've helped me with XYZ. It's just that's typical first post. But sometimes even if you just do a quick pop of, hey, if I send you what to say, would you make this little post and tag me? Like, let's just try it. Let's just see what.
We can do, I mean, I've done it before. She's already done it. She's posted, I have like a share chat for girls who were trying to share products and post, and she's in that. So, I mean, like I've plugged her into things. It's just her own belief and getting her out of her own head, because I'm even like, hey, let's just add like 2 or 3 Facebook friends a day and like just small little steps like that. And I don't get very far. I mean, maybe with Brandy's chat, if we can hype that back up. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not
Maybe in
opposed
the
to it.
group
I
chat.
just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and some people like that, like they're gonna have to want it, but it doesn't mean that we can't like do a quick little pop and just see if it goes anywhere. But I'm also not into like beating a dead horse on someone that's probably not. I mean, they're not going to stick with it, even if they do add one or two. But I mean, the desire for us to help people is there, and so we're basically looking for the people that do want help. And sometimes it is just a timing thing too. It's like you hit her on a good day and you just say, you know, hey, I'd be more than happy to help a few people. And I think also you casting your belief for her and just say, I know that there's I mean, statistics alone say 7 out of 10 people struggle with gut health problems and or need another income stream. And so it's not like we're having to create the need. And so, 7 out of 10 people that she knows or that are her Facebook friends, I mean, the reality is that they probably struggle with something. So again, don't beat a dead horse, but it might be worth a swing back, especially since 2 of you are in conversation with her. Brandy might be able to say and come in as another little added everything you said already, basically. And that might help. Otherwise, bless and release and move on to somebody else. That's my motto.
Well, and like I'm looking through her stuff. I wonder how good her follow up. Like she's posting, but I wonder if she's reaching back out to the people that are commenting. She and I are not friends yet, so I can't see everything, but I just wonder like maybe she needs taught like, okay, you post something and now we've got to follow up with all of those likes and comments that we got. I am going to do a Silver and Six group, and we can invite her into that. I think I'm going to, when did I say? The day after, Monday after Easter. So next week, we're running a actual Silver and Six Facebook group. So hopefully we can talk her into that. And I feel like in the Silver and Six chats or the groups, however we do it, it's always more like doable or easy. Like we lay it out so easily so that people aren't like, oh, this is so much. It's like, oh, here's what you're going to do. And it's all like step by step and super easy. I feel like the Silver and Six is as simple as you can get in my opinion. Okay. Sorry. I'm trying to find my mute. Daniel Tiger is so loud.
Oh, it's not too loud on my end.
Okay, good.
Mhm. All right. April, do you have anything to report? Reach outs, 3 ways.
Not
Not really. I'm here. That's about my life right now.
Alrighty, well, my encouragement is for all of us to maximize the new reach outs for this next week. We can all take that action and pop in some more three ways and or encourage your new people that are starting to share to pop you into three ways. And I feel like that just talking about it gets us on the wavelength of, oh, let's see how many more, we could have people create. Okay, and then let's do a post audit. So last Wednesday, so that was the 9th till today, I want you to do a quick post audit, take 2 minutes and swing back into your to last Wednesday. And you're going to count how many total you had and then do a tally mark for personal, business, and product. Okay, did you guys get them counted? All right, shout out your total.
I just want to I'm just going to go in my backyard and bury myself. Listen, I went viral on Instagram though, and I don't know what to do about it because I don't know how I feel about it. It wasn't a Plexus post. It was actually a reel of me and Rosie. It's got almost 1,000 likes already, and it's been played like 5,000 times. I don't know. I keep getting messages from Instagram about going viral. But anyway, I don't know. I think it's 1,000 to get viral or something.
Yay.
I'm almost there. I don't know what to do with that information because
Are you able to see who liked it or commented?
I mean, the content was about my husband and daughter, like working on the farm together. And like part of it scares me, part of it is like awesome. Megan, I don't know how your parents do it because like 3 negative comments totally like sent me on edge. And I know that your dad like posts things about like the Christian family being around the table and gets nothing but negativity. And I'm like, how do they do this? How are they? Because like now I can't sleep at night because I made 3 people mad out of thousands. But yeah, I can see their comments and all of that stuff, and it's not my friends. I don't even think I have 100 friends on Instagram. I made it public and it went all over the place.
Can you follow them back and just reach out to them? I mean, I don't know how many people liked or commented, but the ones that look like you like to meet them and know them in real life. I mean,
yeah, I mean, it's going to take a while to go through them, but yeah, I need to go through. I'm not Instagram savvy. That's why I'm like, ugh, why did it have to be Instagram? But
it's okay. The bottom line is you're looking for people to follow and to connect with. And so you could just reach out and be like, hey, thanks for liking or commenting on my little funny video or whatever, sweet little video that ended up going viral. You look like a really cool person. Looks like we would hit it off if we were whatever in real life.
It's a lot. I gotta figure out Instagram. That's like something I need to start working with a lot. But on Facebook,
you just have to start.
Yeah.
So that,
I'm-
I mean, that basically was a lead generation for you. So
Yeah,
that video or that reel or whatever.
for
And so,
sure.
like anytime, and it doesn't matter if it's a Plexus one or just a life one, then that gives you more people to connect with.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know?
because they're all following me now. I got to follow back, I guess. Is that how it works?
And I would reach out with a little message, like personal message. Just, I mean,
Yeah.
probably a large percentage of them are humans. Like it's not just like a business or a whatever.
Right. So on Facebook, I only had 4 posts. One business, one product, and a homeschool reel.
Okay. Is that less than normal or is that pretty much your
That's
normal?
less than normal. I'm trying to do better. It was because we were gone so much.
yeah.
But I did get a lot of like videos and pictures to use for content while we were gone. But yeah, my Facebook audit is I actually wrote 6 business posts while we were on vacation because I didn't have service. So I was like, I'm just going to sit here and write some posts. So I have them saved in my notes. So I posted one today, just now, like
Yeah.
an hour ago.
I commented on one that you made a year ago today. It was in my memories.
Yeah, and it's like getting a bunch of attraction again. So yeah, I feel like I need to do more on the business posts. I feel okay. I am going to talk about this too because I feel like I have had so many people reach out to me, not just on my team. And Megan, I know you have too. They have completely freaked out and lost their way because of the Lori Harrison group versus Jessica Heffley. I'm like, we got to find middle ground here. Like, because everyone's
someone.
and it's like, obviously I'm not doing great because I'm not posting well, but you've got to find your middle ground. And so like even my post today was definitely a business post, but I didn't use the word Plexus. Like I'm still trying to like follow some rules, but we can't not post about our business, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I have had people on your team, not mine, who they've messaged me and they're like, I don't know what to post. I feel frozen. And I'm like, well, we can't not post anything, which is what we're all doing.
Right. Well, here's the thing. In my opinion, posting something is better than posting nothing. Now,
Right.
Lori's big thing is you're going to get benched if you just are posting everything that everyone else is posting. So I think like take what she says and like chew the meat, spit out the bones. And
Right.
that doesn't mean that you can never post about convention or that you can never post about the business and that you can never even say Plexus. You can, but I think she's speaking to the extreme cases where people have posted literally about Plexus for 8 years and have, I don't know, 5 people on their team. Like they're not recruited, they're
Right.
stuck. They're totally stuck.
Well, and I was telling one girl, it was Karen, actually. I was telling her, I was like, listen, of all of my interaction, like my Plexus post might not get likes and comments, but you better believe people are still reaching out to me about it because they saw that post. And so then they reach out to me. If I'm not posting about it anymore, people are like, well, is she still doing it?
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
I
and
want
I
people
feel
to see that I'm doing it.
the posting is just as much for our existing customer base as it is for new people. And like when people for whatever reason decide not to post, my question always is, well, what are you willing to do? Even if you have to take a step back, like if you had a brick and mortar business, like even if you had to hire someone to go in and sit in the office or whatever, like you would still have your storefront open. And so I feel like, and similarly, like even if nothing else in our business is getting done except posting, that is important. Non-Plexus posts and Plexus posts. And even if it is from the rally chat, I mean, in my opinion, that's better than nothing. And your non-Plexus posts are actually more important. So I think if anything, the thing with the Lori Harrison training is we've got to get better at social media and being creative. And so to me, the true litmus test of how am I doing on social media is, do people interact with your posts? Are you posting call to comment posts ever? Do people comment on them? Do you post live posts ever? Do people follow along, in your stories? So to me, and then we sprinkle in the Plexus posts. Now, do the Plexus posts, should they be as scammy and salesy as possible? No. Like the more And also the more creative we can be. So like I always post a picture. That's like I think that's a bigger draw than anything else. But then sometimes you got to just kind of throw off the kilter of your normal people scrolling. And then when they see you post something that's just like a color background with like verbiage, they stop their scroll and they're going to list or whatever, read it. Same with, that there's 2 posts actually last month that went really, really well for me for lead generation. One of them was the perimenopause post. And one of them was, what was the other one? The detox challenge post. Didn't have a picture. It was just words, no color background. And so again, I don't normally do that, but I think that's the thing is like we kind of mix it up and just be creative with our posting. And so yeah, the worst thing that we could do is to be in paralysis mode and to be overthinking. The goal is not to overthink the posts, but to think enough to be creative. That way we're just not always, copying and pasting someone else's content, if that makes sense. Where were we going with that? Oh, so Brandy, what is your pivot for this next week now that you're home and you will have service for posting?
Well, I have a lot of like ideas, but I want to like find that middle ground of posting value content, which for me right now, like I'm in the midst of homeschooling. Homeschooling is a hot topic. I'm learning so much about how people just truly don't know anything about homeschooling. And so I'm like, we're going to start talking about it, like of all angles, because some people do it wrong. Like I'm very aware that some people do it wrong. And that's this whole homeschool bill, whatever. Okay. So I'm going to start posting a little bit more educational things about like what homeschooling looks like in the norm instead of like, okay, there's this abusive family over here that like they would be abusive in the public school system, but they're homeschooling. I don't know. And then my focus is obviously the business because, and I struggle with this because I want to help people with their health, but I also see such a huge business side of this that I'm like, my children are fighting. That's what I'm more geared towards right now is like the business post and then homeschool. But we are getting ready. I am getting a cop out because every time we hit the field, I take everybody along on my journey of farming. People love seeing us farming as a family. That's what brings most of my following. And so that's going to be my post pretty soon. Like how we get ready for farming season, how I take the kids along with me, how I'm working my business while I'm in the field, like just all different things.
Do you think that it's easy? Do you feel like it's easy to create content of like the life stuff that you're doing, like homeschooling, farming, getting content, getting pictures and videos for that? Do you feel like that's easy?
Yeah, as long as I'm in the group, like as long as I'm in the habit of doing it. Like once I stop doing that, like I feel like I fall off,
Mm-hmm. Well, it's the week to get back in the groove since you've been off the groove. And I feel this too, especially if my bandwidth is stretched in other ways and I'm not as focused. And I feel like that was me this past week, which is fine. Totally fine. Doesn't really matter. But moving forward this week, I think what this awareness can give us is what we're going to do differently. And my thought is if you posted multiple business, like if you wrote multiple business posts, would you be game for doing a business post every single day and just see?
Yeah, I have like, here's the thing though. I have like thought out ones that I have wrote out that are ready to go.
Yeah.
And then, but Megan, I still get in my head of like, what picture do I choose? What do I do? Like, is this going to offend somebody? Oh my gosh. Like it's
You just
ready
have
to go.
to do
But
it.
I have one for each day. Like I do
Yeah.
have my business posts. I think I wrote 4 business and 2 products is what I did. So
Okay.
like kind of scatter it through, but like they're ready to go. I just have to do them.
Mm-hmm. Well, pick a high traffic time of day, like this evening, maybe to do you have the first business one.
I already did it. I did it today. I did it just now.
So maybe
it's
a call to
getting
comment.
interaction.
Okay. What about a call to comment tonight?
Yeah, I need to do one I haven't posted hardly anything from Shawnee. So that'll be.
Oh, okay.
I usually do like a Charlotte Mason quote while my kids are wandering through the woods,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And so I think that's normal. I think to feel, you have all the thoughts swirling, but you just have to push post. Because same, like, who is this gonna offend, especially people that I'm in close
Your
community with.
kitten post, Megan. You made people have like angry faces and sad faces on your kitten post. I'm like, what is wrong with people?
Yeah, they're upset that we didn't fix all of our cats. Most of them we have, but the pregnant ones we didn't, obviously. They were the babies that time has passed and now they've gotten pregnant. Anyways, the thing is, like, we're not going to please everybody, and the thing is, who is our avatar? Who are we actually posting for? Like, it's for the people, for that 7 out of 10 people that are struggling with their health, or the 7 out of 10 people that do need another business income stream. And so I know it's hard to get out of our heads with the 3 people from church that are wah, wah, wah about what we're doing. But it is what it is. What was I going to say? Oh, the picture thing. Yeah, I do the same thing. Like, I have to kind of scroll through to find the right picture for the post. And sometimes when you've written the post and then you're looking for a picture, it's kind of, I usually start with the picture first and then write it. But yeah, you'll find pictures. I'm positive. And
Well,
sometimes
I look like this every day, like me and all my glory.
You find a picture that, like, draws people's attention, and it doesn't necessarily have to do anything with what you're saying or talking about. You know, a business post doesn't have to be you at convention. Probably preferable that it's not. Actually.
Dude, mine just was, so now I'm offended.
But you never know who it's going to connect with.
I'm just giving you a hard time. Not offended.
Totally,
that's so funny.
You may totally have some people that connects with, or they've been watching you and they've been they secretly want to know more about what you're doing. Yes. Okay. How about you, Lisa? Any awarenesses from your audit?
It was about even. It was almost, I had like 5, maybe, yeah, I think I had 6 Plexus posts and 5, well, it looks like 5 or 6 personal. I did that really fast. And then I just had like 4 separate, like, engaging posts, like, that was nonsense, like just stuff for people to do. But I've actually plugged into that chat GPT this week. Like, I've been using it. Like, it's been very good. I can come up with some pretty creative things, but now I'm just having fun with that because I'm just like, okay, let's see what this does. And it's like 50-50, like, that I see. So, but I am the same way. I'm not frozen. I'm not frozen with this whole social media thing we did, except I'm trying to find my middle ground as well. It has taught me to have more value in my posts. But I still overthink things a little. And I feel like I've been a little bit disconnected at times, but then it's okay that I am a little bit, because, like, on the weekend I was super engaged with my family because they were here, and that doesn't happen very often. But then the posts after the fact were really productive for me. It sped up my algorithms a lot. But I was okay. I didn't feel guilty. Like, I still posted some, but, like, I wasn't so engaged in clocking everything that was happening there. And it was probably better for me to just do that, because it awakened a few things. I went back, on Sunday, and I was like, that there were people that engaged, that allowed me to open a door and start commenting on their posts. Like, that, doing 10, like, commenting on 10 people's posts is the thing that shuts me down before I post. I am spending more time trying to comment on 10 people than I am anything else. And I don't even know how I feel about it. Like, other than I get really frustrated with doing that. I see so many ads and so many like, it's hard to find. They don't post. Like, it's not. And I know at first people were like, well, none of my friends post, and it's not that. So I go into my feed. I go into the feed, hit friends. I do that. That helps. There's just sometimes I'm just struggling to get 10 comments. I love it, though, for the fact it's causing me to be more genuine and plugging into people's lives a little more. And it's allowing me, to do some reach outs that I probably would have never done.
Mhm.
Honestly, I would say I've had some wins from that, but it sometimes the struggle bus is there. Whether it's the time of day or I start to do 10 and I don't know what that time span is, but then I like get interrupted. Like that's my life right now. I just get interrupted a lot. And I'm like, oh gosh, is it going to do me any good now? Like, I don't know. I still needed like 6 more, you know?
What if you do 5? What if you just
Well,
let yourself do
sometimes I
5?
settle for that, and I'm just learning to accept it that that's how it's going to be, and it be okay. I'm kind of like my brain works like I wonder if that's working or not. Like, and I can't tell any difference. You know what I mean? I'm just in a really busy season of my life, I guess, busier than I thought it was going to be, and so I don't always get back in there to do my statistics, maybe just to see like if it is. I'm just rolling with it, and I'm trying to be comfortable with doing that.
Do you have a printed friends list?
It needs updated. Here's my thing with Facebook. I am doing a lot of, I've put myself in some of this area because a lot of my people in Illinois. So I have been putting myself in business groups. I'm putting myself in moms groups, women's groups, lots of different things, and friending a lot of people that I have mutual friends with. Like, so I'm getting some new contacts that way. That's not always the speediest. It's not speedy enough for me. You know what I mean? But it takes time to develop some, I wouldn't say it's a relationship, but like getting those algorithms set with those people. And that's happening. I'm starting to see it happen. And so I'm good with that. So that I have to say overall, the good outweighs the frustration on all of this for me. So I'm pretty good with it. But Brandy and I were talking yesterday about that, like just finding the happy medium here and being okay with that. I think it shut down a few of my people. Like I think it did. And so I'm trying to recreate myself so I can say to them, hey, try this. Like just relax with this.
Mhm.
And because I think it did freeze up a couple of my best people, my best posters, I would say.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like that group was more for like people that have been around a hot minute, not the
Hmm.
new posters.
Yeah.
Like posters
Yeah.
just in the rally chat, learning, posting, even if they're not
Yeah.
creating a lot of their own content, just to
Yeah.
get in the habit of doing it.
Yeah.
Um, I think the tension is good from what Lori is sharing. I think it's
Mhm.
another perspective, and
Yeah.
there's not one right or wrong way. But I think, okay, so printing your friends Facebook friends list can be really beneficial because sometimes what I'll do is just in seasons where I have been willing to be intentional with it, take 1 page a day. And it is
Hmm.
a little tedious, but basically work on connecting with that, whatever the list of Amandas or whatever, the Britneys.
Yeah.
And you just
Yeah.
connect either on their post or even in private message. I I've approached it not as like a bunch of plexus messages, but like connecting messages. But then that really did end up by the end of the month, I had like 8 people that I signed up. And it wasn't because I like messaged all those people about plexus per se, but I was just like relationally interacting. Also, do you have on your feeds, do you have like your favorites?
I do. Yeah.
Okay. Because
I
I
do
think
all of that.
that has
I
helped.
got better. I think you talked about it. And I don't know if that was last week or the week before, but I started utilizing that and that has helped some.
Mhm.
Um, I'm just still shocked. Sometimes I'm still seeing ads like, and I don't know if it's just a slow time
Do
of
you
the
hide
day,
them? Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I do. Some of
I
them
feel
I
like
do.
I see more ads than normal, but
It's
it's
just
also,
lately.
yeah, it's hard when you go to people's feed and they don't ever post or it's like
Hmm.
all the shared
Yeah.
content. And here's the thing, I feel like this is the $1 million tip from Jen Cobb when I was out at corporate. She said that their intent when they prospect, they're prospecting one all the time, and two, she said that they're prospecting people that are already sharing. And so that's something else to be just cognizant of when you are on social media. And that's what I liked about Romy's encouragement. Like, set the timer. Like, we're not just randomly scrolling, but when we are on social media, set the timer for 10 minutes or 15, whatever. But look across the top of who is sharing in their stories. That's not
Hmm.
Plexus yet, but they're already sharing. To me, that's
Hmm.
so simple. Like, they're already sharing stuff. They might as well get paid for talking about like really great
Yeah.
gut health supplements or a business opportunity. So I feel like that's a really great thing to do. Also, so you could go horizontally and then also vertically. Sometimes I will literally just scroll and comment on 10 people's posts, like the first 10 people. It doesn't really even matter. They need to be non-plexus. So I skip past the plexus people because what Lori's taught us is also don't just be commenting on other plexus people's posts, which feels weird, especially if we're friends with them because we want to be commenting, but it really does kill our algorithm. And then that's what Facebook features to us. So I think it's kind of that like slowing down, getting some awareness so that we can speed up and like where our posts are not just posting at the choir, we're preaching to the choir with our content, you know? Do you guys pull Hot 20 lists off of your most popular posts? If you don't do that, or if you have, that's the next thing you need to do. Step 2, which I'm not going to give us time on the call to do that, but right now that's your homework. Step 2 is pull 20 names. And if you're pulling them from a Plexus post, especially, I would message them directly about Plexus. People that start liking and commenting, or even just liking every so often on your Plexus post, and even on your non-Plexus post, those are going to be your next customers. Maybe not business builders, but they're going to be your next customers because they're following what you're sharing about. Just something I've noticed in the past 10 years. Also, have an awareness. So when we do these post audits, have an awareness of what posts are doing well. And what post kind of fell flat. It might have been time of day. It doesn't mean that it was a bad post, but just be aware of the votes. Like which one's got the most votes? My Parasite one got the most votes, I'll just say. And I feel like anytime we can share about health, but it's not Plexus. I was talking about with this to Amy the other day. We were on a call on Saturday morning, just she and I, and she was like saying that she's like, oh man, if I had a little affiliate link for these weighted vests, I would be making a killing, because she talks about other things besides just Plexus. And I feel like, again, it's a value add. If we can be talking about healthy eating, hydration, moving our body, a weighted vest, so why it's important, linking the podcast, those are all like that creative value adds to anybody. Like we're speaking to our customers, we're speaking to our potentials, we're speaking to our business owners. So I think like all of that also is beneficial, people sharing what we know about health and how to help ourselves do better. Justin said, we talked about this a lot. He's like, life is war. Literally, life is war. Everything is against us in terms of our health, in terms of our spiritual walk, in terms of whatever, marriage, raising kids. Like it is war. And if we want to have something, we want to have well-trained kids, or we want to have well-educated kids. We want to have a great marriage. We want to be healthy. Like literally, I was reading that Chick-fil-A even has MSG in their food. And like, if we want to be healthy, like we're gonna have to like really, really fight for it. And so anyways, all that to say, anytime we can be a champion for a little hack or a tip or an encouragement or whatever it is, it's on social media, it's always good. Okay, well, this was fantastic. 4 minutes. April, do you want to share anything about your awarenesses from your social media posts?
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to unmute. I definitely was paralyzed by Lori's group, not gonna lie. I'm still in my head about more so with Plexus posts and how to not copy and paste but post stories. I mean, y'all know I can talk your ear off, but when it comes to like putting it in words, I'm struggling with that. I have been trying to still post like life relatable things. Like last night we went to Chipotle and it was disgusting, and so I made a post about it. Like just trying to be like, hey, I know I'm not the only one, like just random things. There's been a couple other just random things that I was posting about, but it wasn't Plexus posts. So just trying to getting back to that, I guess, and getting out of my head of like, it's still okay. I'm in a weird season of life right now. I don't even really know what to call it or what to say about it, but I'll just kind of leave it at that. So So I'm still trying to, like I said, post a little bit. You asked about conversations earlier. I'm really great about following up, like especially if I've already had a good conversation with you. Like I'm probably an over nagger when it comes to follow-ups. But like today I was like hot on that $25 off for VIP thing. As we were all figuring that out. So but as far as like new reach outs, I was kind of in my head about that. So just
Okay,
kind of
so
getting back in the groove.
am I delayed or are you guys delayed? I'm probably delayed.
I don't know.
You guys hear me or no?
It might be me. I don't know. Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. I don't would like to clash at the same time. So let's get out of our head and get into action. Action cures everything, and don't overthink it. Seriously, like use what Lori shared to like up level the little areas where you can, but don't let it hold you back from not posting because people need to hear your voice. They need to hear the funny thing about Chick-fil-A or whatever it was, Chipotle. Um, are you friending a lot of people right now?
I will say that is one thing I'm great at. Like I am like if I'm on Facebook and see like the whole people you may know and they either look cool or I see I have a lot of mutual friends, then I will I'm really great at that. So
Mhm. Good. Well,
and I did take with I also am really good about the whole I go in waves of the whole comment, like Lori taught about like, going and commenting and like kind of staying away from Plexus people's posts. I have been pretty cautious about that. And even if I'm scrolling, I try to get in a habit of like, if I scroll and see somebody non-Plexus who I'm like, oh, that's funny or oh, that's cool, I try to comment and like still engage and
yeah.
keep it social. I don't always get it in before I post, but I really try to, or at least throughout the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that the thing to be gleaning is don't post in ghost. And when we do post, like sometimes it just isn't conducive to like commenting right then. But if you're throughout the day commenting, I think that will still benefit us. Like Facebook is going to feature our stuff to those people that we're interacting with. And so even if like Lisa was feeling stressed about like, getting 10 in, like it doesn't need to be a stressful thing. Make it five, make
Yeah.
it three, whatever, just engage somewhere. And that's the thing is like a lot of times people literally post and ghost. They don't interact at all on social media. And if we want to be engaging with people, like we have to be commenting. And I also think it doesn't have to be a bad thing that you haven't done a whole lot of Plexus posts recently, especially if you're friending a ton of people, because you want to be like adding tons of value and relating to them and then sprinkling in Plexus, like where it makes sense. So, and I also think that like good high quality Plexus posts do take forethought, and um, it doesn't have to be like a bad thing that you haven't had tons and tons of content. But I just think that quality over quantity also in terms of your Plexus posting also, if that helps free up you're like, oh, I should be doing a Plexus post every single day. And then you feel stressed about it. And then you don't know what to post. And then you're feeling like paralyzed. And so we're going to just ditch that this week. And we're going to be excited about what we have to share with Plexus, both business and products, engaging on social media, friending, and not getting in our head. We're going to be decisive. We are going to make powerful decisions because we know that there's people out there reading what we're sharing. They just haven't started yet. And so I truly believe that.
And April's going to get back in her stories because people miss her.
Yes. For sure. I think live in your stories, that's one thing that I was learning. This girl that I follow, she just had baby number 10. I think I was telling you about her. I like to follow people that are good at social media and kind of just take a step back and look at what they're doing. That girl is live in your stories every single day. I don't know how she does it. And she always looks so relaxed and serene. Like, wow. And then also every single post that she does is a cute picture of something that the kids are doing. And then it's a little blurb, always with a call to comment, basically, like, do your kids build forts too? Or whatever it is. And so I was like, that is really smart. And I need to kind of start incorporating that into my posts too, to encourage engagement.
I also was like, even with the Laura Harrison thing, like I was trying to be more like just authentic and not so salesy in my stories. And so I was doing it as I was making a drink and then like writing words, not necessarily always talking, but like kind of writing about my day. And that was starting to get like a lot of interaction. But then I was like, okay, but only those set people are seeing it and not like the people. I need to figure out a way to like tie it in both places without saying like the same thing in both places, kind of thing was kind of my thought. But yeah, like I've just been in a weird space and haven't been in my stories either. So yeah.
Okay, well, that's
I do
good.
I do have another question about the whole 25. So if somebody, I know obviously the goal is to get the people to switch to brand ambassador, but if they choose to stay a VIP and they refer somebody, does that make them your level 1 or does it just keep them as your level 2 still?
No, they would still be a level 2, I think.
Because, okay, so the reason I'm asking is my husband's account is, he's not a brand ambassador. So I thought about like if somebody was, because I don't qualify for giving the $25 off, but his account would. So I thought about using it if like I had somebody who wanted to join, but then I wondered if that would still count as like my personal new VIPs. Does that make sense? Like if he doesn't convert.
I thought if they only took the product credit, you get a paid level 1.
I bet that's what it is, where they're not, yeah, it's paid level 1, but there's technically on paper you're 2. Yeah.
And
that
I
would make
also wonder, I also am really curious on if that would count towards like the 6 new level 1s, like if he doesn't convert. Like would that go towards the jacket?
Let me check on that. I doubt it though.
Okay. That's kind of what I figured, but I just was curious because I was working towards that. So that's why I'm like hesitant because I want to help people get started with the $25 off. But then I also feel like I'm kicking myself. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, that's tricky sometimes.
So just thoughts.
Yeah. Well, you could earn it. Oh, wait, your husband hasn't upgraded yet, right?
Not yet.
You could earn it under him.
If I upgrade him. Yeah.
I don't know. You have to think about that. What makes the most sense? I always hate it when there's this doesn't happen a whole lot, but if it's a win for them but not a win for you, or like sometimes it's just like, but
yeah,
that's very rare.
Listen, can we just bring back the give 10? Where's the give 10?
I know.
the basics.
Tell Blake that we want
Yeah.
give 10.
Okay. I have a call tomorrow. I could be like, hey. Okay, so this coming week, we're going to track again our new reach outs, our 3 ways. You all did a post audit already, but anyone that's listening to the recording, we're going to do the post audit, how many total, business, product, personal, and then pull the hot 20 list from there. We didn't give time on the call to do that, but pull the hot 20 list. That could be your 20 that you have done for next Wednesday also. And also strategy with who you're reaching out to, like for business. And I feel like I've shared this multiple times, but like last night I was sharing about the Jen Cobb approach. And so it does take more time kind of to figure out who those people are, but it's going to be slowing down to speed up because those people that say yes, then are going to be your new fast start golds. And you need gold leader legs on your team to rank up to your next ranks. And we want those people. So I would just say strategy as well with your new reach outs. That's not just like willy-nilly random people, but people that you're intentionally prospecting for business. All right, girls, I gotta run. Thanks for popping on. I'll get the recording up. See ya.